I've been rejected way too many times in my life. I won't take no for an answer anymore.
We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I just want to do God's will, and He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. But I still want to go by myself. Sometimes I want to say, I'm gonna walk on.
Hi everyone, I'm Bobby Doré Foster, Vice President of the Skanner Foundation. Welcome to our annual Martin Luther King Jr. Breakfast. We're happy that you're here with us in this virtual format. We have not done this format before, but we're happy that you're here to join us in our annual tribute to Dr. King. As you know, we usually present scholarships to deserving students, as well as we have entertainment for you. So we're looking forward to music and tributes to Dr. King. We hope that you will enjoy the program. Our goal is to inspire you to continue the legacy of Dr. King.
You know, there's a tradition within the Black community when we put on a program or a large gathering where we have our Black national anthem. And today, to perform that for you is the Portland Philharmonic Choir.
In June of 2020, I was commissioned to write an arrangement of Lift Every Voice and Sing for the Portland Symphonic Choir. This choir stands in solidarity with all those who condemn racial violence, and we resolve to use our voices, our platform, and our humanity to promote a culture of inclusivity and equality for all.
That the dark past has taught us. Oh, sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, and us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, built in the days when home unborn and I, yet with the steady beat, I'm not a weary feet, come to the place for which I'm We have come treading our path through the blood of slaughter. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last. Where the white curve of our star is cast. God of our wearies, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places of God where we may. Oh, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, to our native
And now, a message from our U.S. Senator, Jeff Merkley.
Good morning. Senator Jeff Merkley here. Thank you for gathering today for the Martin Luther King Jr. Breakfast. Special thanks to everyone at the Skanner, especially Bernie and Bobby Foster, for launching this event 35 years ago and for working to continue that vision under the special circumstances we face this year. Dr. King inspired and challenged us to be better, to do better, to embrace the better angels of our nature, even when it is uncomfortable or hard. The ultimate measure of a man, he said, is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. And these last 4 years have certainly been times of challenge and controversy. Times in which an American president, Donald Trump, has stoked the fires of hate, division, and intolerance. Times in which the president has encouraged an attack on the foundations of our democracy, as we saw this last week at the Capitol of the United States. All of this at the same time our nation grapples with institutionalized racial discrimination. The systemic racism that impacts us everything from housing and employment to the quality of public education to access to quality, affordable health care. Systemic racism that makes Black Americans twice as likely to die of COVID-19 as white Americans, that leads to the killing of innocent Black neighbors at the hands of law enforcement. But now we open the book to a new chapter, a chapter led by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. This is a time that requires bold, concrete action. Dr. King said that the time is always ripe to do right. In this new chapter, let's act in a way that historians record as full of bold, determined action to right the wrongs of the past, to address the injustices of the present, and to pave the path of opportunity for all Americans in the future. Let us keep our spirits. Let's keep up the fight. Let's rebuild a nation that reflects Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s vision of an America that is just and equitable for all.
See, everything we do has to have soul in it. And I'd like to introduce you to a wonderful, soulful singer, Miss Tahira Memory.
Hello everyone, I'm Tahira Memory. I'm so grateful to be part of the Skanner's 35th annual MLK Day celebration with you, and I'm going to be performing a couple of songs. This one is Music's and Everything.
let my eyes see the clouds unveil the sun, to see the light run, see the light run. Give me 1,000 dreams that do their own little dance. Music's in everything, music's in everything. Oh, when you get too close, my pulse becomes the drum, to hear the air hum, hear the air hum. Whether you cry or laugh, we all know how to sing. Music's in everything, music's in everything. That's what he told me, that's what he said, that's what he showed me. I can't forget. Oh, when the river rolls, a serenade for the woke, to bring us all some peace, to put us all at ease. And when you go away, I play my pain on repeat. Music's in everything, music's in everything. How the trees sway side by side, and all the birds pirouette in flight. Don't you know time is just the longest song of life? That's what he told me, that's what he said, that's what he showed me. I'm an instrument, it's what I look for, it's what I know, that's what he told me. I can't forget. It's what I look for, it's what I know. That's what he told me, that's what he said, that's what he showed me. I'm an instrument, that's what I look for, it's what I know, that's what he told me. I can't forget.
The Skanner started in 1975. As a matter of fact, October the 9th was our first edition. Now you got to remember, in 1975, the Kerner report was right after the riots, and it says that blacks and others should be in the newsroom and so forth. I said, I don't want to be in the newsroom. We want to start our own media to tell our own story. And by that time, in the major newspapers, they wouldn't cover us the way they cover today. So the only person of color was in newspapers, in the major newspaper, was in handcuffs.
When we started the Skanner newspaper, we were in very tight quarters with a very small staff, but we knew that it was important for us to present the African American community as a whole community, not just one aspect.
People are not going to be back to repression. So what we have to do is continue our struggle, bring out that information, and you have to prepare yourself. And the young people with their Black Lives Matter, they're doing a tremendous job. I will only add to them, you got to change the policy. And this mayor, he cannot continue to wobble the fence.
The Skanner is community. And I'm loving the fact that whenever they tell the story, they always, in my opinion, they get it right, capturing the essence of things that are happening in our city, our state, our nation, our country, and there are many stories that would otherwise not be told unless it were not for the Skanner.
We want to provide, and we do provide, news stories that will motivate people to take action about issues that are important to them. Many times, people in the community don't realize what is important. So what we try to do is be ahead of the news and looking at what causes these things to happen, and then looking at how citizen involvement can make a difference.
The breakfast started when myself, Bobby, and many other people worked very hard to change that street, Union Avenue to Martin Luther King Jr. When we finally got everything through and passed, we were having a big celebration on Ainsworth and Martin Luther King Street Boulevard. That was the first sign to go down. So there was a lot, about 45 people were picking us when we had that big celebration. So I got this bright idea, and they was kind of hungry, so we went over and asked them to join us for some food to participate in the festivities. They came over, ate a little food, and laughed with us and talked with us. And about 45 minutes, the guy said, I got to go back to work, so I have to pick my sign back up, but I thank y'all. So they went back and picked it up, but that was a true story.
So over the years, we have continued to bring the news to our audience, the good news and the bad news, but we certainly have enjoyed promoting activities with youth in the community and with the elderly, covering issues on health and on education, as well as politics. So that is a continuing job for us as we adjust to the changes that are happening now in our industry. We strive to stay on top of that and to bring the news to you in as many forms as we possibly can.
General Dean is the 2016 recipient of the National Institute for Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, Senators Harold Hughes Memorial Award, and National Conference on Citizenship prestigious Franklin Award for Citizen of the Year. He is also the 2020 recipient of the National Prevention Network Lifetime Achievement Award. Ladies and gentlemen, General Arthur T. Dean.
Good morning. I am General Arthur Dean, Executive Chairman of Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America, CADCA. On behalf of CADCA, I am thankful for the opportunity to share a few words at today's Scanners Foundation 35th Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Breakfast. CADCA represents more than 5,000 community coalitions. We also are international, and we have worked in some 30 countries and built nearly 1,000 international coalitions. Our mission is to strengthen the capacity of community coalitions so that they have the abilities to create and maintain safe, healthy, and drug-free communities globally. There are some 114 coalitions that CADCA represents in the state of Oregon, and they're working diligently to keep their communities safe, healthy, and drug-free. We believe that the prevention is critical to the success of any community. And for every $1 invested in prevention saves a community from $2 to $20. Rally Oregon initiative is a partnership of state, local, and national organizations. It is concerned and highlights a wide range of solutions to solve the problems in communities, including prevention, access to treatment, as well as recovery. That's why CADCA is so pleased to partner with Rally, because Rally works with national, state, and local partners to solve these critical issues. We have been working with Rally now since 2018. We have obviously worked with Oregon Rally and been in some 20 other states. In fact, according to the ONDCP, High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area, HIDTA, within that HIDTA, there is an organization that looks at and reports on suspected drug overdoses. And their most recent research has shown a 20% increase in those that are considering suspected overdoses. We also have gotten data recently from the Center for Disease Control, and they looked at April of 19 to April of 20, and they found that there was some 81,000 overdoses, and that yearly number represents a 13.4% increase. So we really have some significant problems to address. Our friends at the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration says that about 65% of all of the medicines abused, people get them from friends and families. We also know from our friends at the Food and Drug Administration that about 75% of all written prescriptions for medications go unused. That's why Raleigh and CADCA are very concerned that we have to get these unwanted and unused medicines out of homes so they cannot be abused. In order to do that, working with Raleigh, we have been able to distribute, I should say, some 800,000 of the deterred, deactivation, and disposable pouches so that these can be used in communities to get unwanted and unused medicines out, and they can be environmentally disposed of safely. Our coalition say that these pouches are assisting them in reducing the issues associated with unwanted and unused drugs in their communities in a substantial way, and have seen the decrease in abuse and overdoses as a result of having these pouches, which we are very, very, very pleased. Dr. Martin Luther King was known as a drum major for peace. And he spoke about the importance of mobilizing members of communities to be a part of their own solution and to work together to achieve a greater good. Partnerships like this one is a good example of what Dr. King was talking about. That is collective work to benefit all within the community. As we face a nationwide opioid epidemic, as well as a public health pandemic, it is critical that we have leaders across many different sectors working collaboratively on solutions at every level. I want to thank you for the opportunity to participate in this breakfast, honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. I want to congratulate you for your 35th one, and CADCA is very appreciative of the work that you're doing, and we thank you for the opportunity to share these comments with you.
In order to teach a child, you have to know the child. And remembering that all students deserve respect and attention, and it's up to us to go the extra mile to be able to give that. I hope that students will remember how much I loved them and the sense of belonging that they feel when they come into my room.
Good morning, everyone, and happy 2021. We at the Oregon Lottery are proud to honor the life and legacy of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and the incredible work that the Skanner Foundation is doing to bring positive change to communities of color here in Oregon. Today, we're presenting scholarships to 4 very deserving students virtually, and they are Pippa Calvo, Cicely Larkin, Jamie Fields, and Calcutta Katema. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy this morning.
Good morning. I am Dr. Leslie Ann Pittard, Assistant Vice President for Campus and Community Engagement in the Division of Equity and Inclusion, and Assistant Vice Provost for Diversity Initiatives in the Office of the Provost at the University of Oregon. It is in times like these that it gives me such sincere pride and hope to be able to present 3 deserving young women scholarships for achieving their dreams. Congratulations, Lisa Amani, Kelly Schuler, and Melissa Torres Duran. Congratulations on all your achievements. We are very proud of you and wish you nothing but the best. Go Ducks!
Greetings. My name is Chandra Terry. I am the Regional Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Engagement Coordinator for the U.S. Forest Service Pacific Northwest region, where our motto is caring for the land and serving people. On behalf of our regional forester, Glenn Casamassa, and the entire Pacific Northwest region family, we are honored to be in partnership with the Skanner Foundation. We are equally honored to award our 2021 scholarship recipients.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a minister and an activist.
Martin Luther King fought for equality and human rights for African Americans. His dream was to make everything equal.
To me, the dream is just about doing what you love and following what you believe in.
Martin Luther King Jr. makes me feel like I have more opportunities as an African American girl.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made me happy because I could go to the store without getting laughed at because the color of my skin.
Martin Luther King has always inspired me to better myself through education and through my connection in what I believe.
My name is Boston and I have a dream.
My name is Ava and I have a dream.
My name is Nathan and I'm living his dream.
We have a treat for you today. One of the best saxophone players in the world, Mr. Mike Phillips. Someone who has always supported this breakfast is the City of Portland mayors. And I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Ted Wheeler.
Friends, it's an honor to be part of the celebration and reflection of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The current calls for action, demonstrations, policies, and investments around racial justice happening in our city, our state, our nation, and the world influence this year's reflection of one of history's most prominent, dedicated, and passionate figures. Reflecting on the enduring legacy of Dr. King offers me invaluable lessons. These lessons help serve as guiding principles I intend to follow during the next 4 years of working to make our city safer, more prosperous, and more welcoming for everyone. More than ever, we need the powers of the collective good, the vision, the grit, and the commitment to create a better tomorrow for everyone. What Dr. King set out to do and what he accomplished moved our nation. Dr. King taught us that leaders who build movements from a place of love and who are able to bring people together are the pillars of a healthy, safe, and resilient community. The legacy of Dr. King can and must live on through each of us. Think of the many problems we could solve, the young people who we could empower, the lives we could protect, and the many liberties of life we could all enjoy if we lived Dr. King's philosophy of nonviolence. I know I've made mistakes. I know I have more to learn. And I have a lot more work to do. I am more committed than ever to learning, to listening, to collaborating with others, and acting. Our fates are more intertwined than ever. And because of that, we'll only succeed by remembering the humanity in everyone and in ourselves. Thank you, Dr. King, and thank you all for the opportunity to address you on this important occasion.
Good morning. My name is D'Angela Wells. I'm the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at Portland General Electric, where we energize lives, strengthen communities, and drive energy solutions that promote social, economic, and environmental progress. It is an honor to be here among a collective of community organizations who are committed to helping to lay the foundation for a brighter future by nurturing the dreams and goals of our young people. We are proud to once again partner with the Skanner Foundation to name Colleen Ozokwe as our 2021 Skanner Foundation Scholarship recipient. Congratulations to all of this year's scholarship recipients. Thank you.
I'm Kimberly Branham, Executive Director of Prosper Portland, where our mission is to create economic growth and opportunity in Portland. Thank you to the Skanner for bringing us together to honor Dr. Martin Luther King and to reflect on his legacy. Prosper Portland is pleased to be able to sponsor Skanner Foundation scholarships to incredibly talented and deserving young people.
Good morning. My name is Jay Robinson, and I'm the Hospital Administrator for Kaiser Permanente Hospitals here in the Northwest. The hospitals include Kaiser Sunnyside as well as Kaiser Westside Hospital. Kaiser exists to provide high-quality, affordable healthcare services and to improve the health of our members and the communities we serve. It is truly my pleasure to present the Scholarship Award.
Martin Luther King has always represented a dream of equality in this nation. As we move forward into 2021, we have to continue to reach back and pull those forward. We have to be able to share that dream. With the breakfast, we embody that dream of an education for the young folks who have gone on and utilized these scholarships to create a career. We are responsible for the health and vitality of our community, and we are responsible for the participation of our youth. My name is Jerry Foster, and I have a dream.
Martin Luther King is a revolutionary. He changed many lives. Martin Luther King is a civil rights activist in the 1950s and 60s who fought for everyone to be equal.
Martin Luther King was a Baptist minister and a civil rights activist.
His dream means to fight for what you believe in peacefully.
It means a lot to me because he fought for other people's rights so we could all be equal.
I'm inspired by Martin Luther King Jr. because he was a very strong man and activist, and I really appreciate his work. I'm living this dream today by helping people so everybody can have the great education that Martin Luther King fought for.
I'm living Martin Luther King's dream by
always speaking on what I believe in, by sharing my poetry with the world, and no matter how people feel about it, I say what I want to say and need to say.
My name is Malachi and I have a dream.
My name is Naomi and I have a dream.
My name is Hade and I have a dream.
The things that I experienced here as a young Black African American kid going to Portland Public Schools, Highland Grade School, which is now Martin Luther King Jr. Grade School, is that I was slapped by the kindergarten teacher because of a little white boy calling me a nigger and because I wanted to know what it was. And she said to me to put my head down on the desk, and I said, well, before I do, I'm just a little girl and I can't deal with you right now because I'm only 5. But when I become that big age, the grown age of 18, I will look you up at that time and have a conversation with you, which luckily I was able to have a conversation with my kindergarten teacher when I graduated from Jefferson High School. And that is why I feel the importance of being called to the work of the board K through 12 to work with our Portland Public Schools so that no child in the 21st century will have to endure and go through what I went through.
Hello, I am Maria Pope, President and CEO of Portland General Electric. Though we are unable to gather together in person, it is a privilege to join you virtually today as we honor the life and legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 2020 has brought an array of challenges and change. A global pandemic, economic uncertainty, social unrest, and the indignation over systemic racism, as well as climate change and historic wildfires. Against the backdrop of all that 2020 has brought, the United States has been called upon to confront its darkest truth, that our great nation has not been indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Dr. King said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of convenience and comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." This is one of those moments of great challenge. I am so encouraged by the resiliency and urgency that we have seen from our next generation to stand up for change. To quote another great leader, Robert F. Kennedy, who aptly said, "This world demands the qualities of youth, not a time of life, but a state of mind, a temper of will, a quality of imagination, and a predominance of courage over timidity." At PGE, we know that youth are the key to helping us create a cleaner, greener, and more equitable community. That is why we launched PGE Project Zero, a new program that enables youth to learn about climate change and improve the environment. Our youth are poised to change the world, and we are pleased to partner with the Skanner Foundation to support their dreams and appetite for change and adventure through opportunities that education affords. Inequity in America runs deep. We must work together to create the equitable world we wish to see. By collaborating through meaningful conversations and community partnerships, we can work together to create a better and more just world. On behalf of PGE, we are deeply honored to celebrate the extraordinary legacy of Dr. King by supporting the academic pursuits of some of the best and brightest young people in our community.
Greetings, and thank you to the Skanner for hosting this important flagship event annually, even in the midst of this virtual space we've been all operating in the last 9 months due to the COVID crisis. To introduce myself, I am Nate McCoy, the Executive Director of the Oregon chapter for the National Association of Minority Contractors. NAMAC National was founded in 1969 during the Civil Rights Movement in Oakland, California, to focus on the economic trajectory of Black, Indigenous, and Latinx business owners in construction and professional service industries. The mission of NAMAC Oregon in our 23-year history has always been about building bridges and crossing barriers by focusing on advocacy and business development, by working with owners, developers, the construction industry, and other related sectors to combat issues common to BIPOC businesses. We are excited to participate in and honored to participate in the Martin Luther King Jr. birthday and legacy by continuing the economic development work that NAMAC does to embrace the legacy of Dr. King's vision of dismantling economic disparities with an eye toward economic parity. Thank you, and on behalf of NAMAC, we wish you a blessed day and Happy New Year.
The Skanner Foundation's Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast looks a little different this year. But here's what never changes about this special event. I'm honored to continue supporting this annual and incredibly important community gathering. Communities, particularly Black communities, have lost far too many people throughout this very challenging year. And families have lost far too many jobs. As we enter a new year with a new administration in the Senate, I know America can do better. It's more important than ever now to take Dr. King's timeless call for urgent action to truly improve healthcare for Black Americans, to give economic power directly to the community, to tackle justice reform and make sure everyone, and I mean everyone, not just survives, but thrives. Big thanks to my friends Bernie and Bobby who inform and inspire today and every day of the year. I very much look forward to the day when we can be together safely. Meantime, my best wishes to all on this very special day.
The rain in April was all it's known for. A season of change, I'm sure, washing away everything before. But until you came, I couldn't recall not a single April's rainfall. And it's not clear, yeah, if it's the spring or my sweetest tears that'll fill the streets forevermore. I never wonder how the flame finds the wick, how the sea finds the ship, how the kiss finds the lips. I never wonder if there's gotta be more than this. Is there something I'm gonna miss? Am I living out my but I couldn't know just how you would unfold my heart so entirely. And it ain't right, I have you all to myself when there are so many souls in need. I never wonder how the flame finds the wick, how the sea finds the ship, how the kiss finds the lips. I never wonder if there's gotta be more than this. Is there something I'm gonna miss? Am I living on my purpose? 'Cause you came, and I don't recall, no, I don't recall. And you came, and you changed it all. I said you changed it all. I never wonder how the flame finds.
Hello, Governor Kate Brown here. Thank you for taking time to celebrate the life and legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. On my desk, I keep a rock. It's engraved with a quote from Dr. King. Our lives begin to end when we are silent about the things that matter. I take this statement seriously and literally. In the past year, Dr. King's words ring even more true. And I certainly count myself as one of the many white politicians whose good intentions haven't done enough to tackle the scourge of systemic racism. One of my greatest regrets is that it took a global pandemic and the murders of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and way too many others to force an awakening to the ongoing systemic racism that oppresses the Black community. This awakening has lit a fire under white leaders to make the work of racial justice a priority, as it has been for Black and brown people. From this, we've also seen incredible, groundbreaking work to center communities made vulnerable by systemic racism and colonialism in our conversations as we work together to build a safer, stronger, and more equitable place to call home. Dr. King knew that systemic racism was not just a 1964 problem, and it's certainly not just a 2020 problem. That's why we call it a system of racism and not something easy to dismantle. This work will be so relevant and necessary in 2021, 2022, and certainly long after I finish my term as governor. 2021 will present a whole new range of challenges, I'm sure. We're certainly not out of the woods of this pandemic as we work to get Oregonians, especially those who've been disproportionately impacted by COVID-19, vaccinated as quickly and efficiently as we can. As we work to build a better Oregon for everyone, I am committed to honoring Dr. King's legacy by putting Black, Indigenous, Latino, Latina, Latinx, Asian, Pacific Islander, communities of color, and Oregon's tribes at the forefront of our recovery. Over the past year, I convened a Racial Justice Council to have regular and ongoing conversations about how to dismantle structural racism in Oregon state government, and by doing so, have resounding impacts on communities across our entire state. When it comes to racial justice, words are not enough. Actions matter. And it's long past time we take decisive, anti-racist action here in the state of Oregon. While our state's and certainly our nation's long history of racist policies will not be deconstructed in one legislative session or a budget cycle, I know we can dismantle the institution of racism the same way that it was built, brick by brick. I am so very proud we have prioritized racial equity and sought to close opportunity gaps so that in the future, race will no longer predict people's outcomes. This was Dr. King's vision of America. And today, we honor him by redoubling our efforts. From all of the low points of 2020, we will move forward to build a better Oregon for everyone. Thank you.
First of all, let me say thank everybody for coming. I want to thank Jonah Dean for his remarks on COBA. Obviously, those are really important issues. We don't know where this is going, but one of the things I want to say that to all of our young scholarship winners, congratulations to you. You're doing a superb job. And just remember that these people are putting their resources behind you because they really believe in you. So go out and make us proud and do something productive in your life as you look forward. I also want to thank all of our sponsors that made this thing possible. We couldn't have done it without you. So all of our readers and so forth, we ask you to support those that support your issues and causes. I also want to just thank our fine staff for the work they've done. I want to thank Heart Development for the work they did in making this production what it is today. This is not what we normally do. We don't do this kind of a show. Most of ours are done live, but these are changing times. So we're looking forward to some exciting things, and we hope to see you next year at a live production, or who knows what changes may take place. So again, thank you for coming, and the Skanner appreciate all of the support that you've been giving us for these last 35 years.
I've been rejected way too many times in my life. I won't take no for an answer anymore. Seems all these walls been erected to stop my dreams, yeah. But I won't let that be a factor anymore. If you don't stand with me, if you don't go with me, I'll go by myself. If you don't fight with me, and if you don't believe in me, I'm gonna walk on. I'm gonna walk on myself. Oh, sometimes I feel like I wanna throw my hands up, 'cause I can't breathe. But